In the southernmost part of Limgrave, there's the castle of Morne, which I found to have some cool rewards and a quest tied to it. And after exploring all the castle, I decided to come back and farm the Pumpkinhead, which drops off this mob near the castle's first site of grace. I started off as a wretch, and it makes farming unique armor like this unbelievably satisfying. So I'm not sure if most of you watching will have the same motivation to go after this item as me, but I will say its usefulness was apparent as soon as I put it on. Compared to the dinky astrologer's helmet I was wearing, it weighed 11 more points, and I had to invest in endurance to stay at a medium weight load. After a few encounters with the helmet on, I could immediately feel its effectiveness when I was struck by enemies. I didn't get knocked down nearly as often, and I felt 3 times as resilient as I was prior. I'll save the detailed text about the item as a bit of an Easter egg so we don't give away all the spoilers, but when you fight this guy, if you strike him on the head, he takes 1/10 of the damage he would normally take, and that's also been my experience when using the helmet. This is part of what I've liked about the Wretch class. You feel every single piece of armor or weapon upgrade I get, and I've got an assortment of gear on which reminds me of where I've previously been. This isn't the only mob that drops the pumpkin helmet, but this one specifically is the first one I ran into. It was a quick 1-minute reset, and it also had 1 or 2 other rewards to go with it, which I felt made this farm worth it. So let me show you why I like farming the helmet here. If you're new to the Soul series like myself, I've been introduced to these dogs, which can be really frustrating to deal with, but you've got to take out this pack of 3 every reset, so while farming this item, you can get some combat practice in with one of the most notorious mobs in the series. Another huge win in this farm is the smoldering butterflies I pick up from this fire every time. You can get 2 to 6 butterflies each pass, and these are used to make fire pots. I love this item. I use them all the time against bosses, and it adds a little bit of extra flair to my combat when it feels right. Having an excuse to pack away a few hundred fire pots early on in the game feels really good, and helps define who my character is in Elden Ring. The dogs dropped beast bones, just like all the other beasts, and these are used to craft bow and arrows, which I use to pull separate mobs in camps to separate enemies, or hit a wall in the distance and distract my enemy as I sneak up on them. It feels really good to be resourceful using all the items I find around me. The amount of runes I farmed per hour was pretty bad compared to other focused rune farming at this level, but it wasn't terrible, and in the 2 hours I spent farming here, I got 90,000 runes, which was a nice level boost at the time, and I got 3 helmets to drop. The first one dropped on my 15th run, and then the next 2 dropped 45 minutes apart from each other, so it's not an impossible farm. Tell me what you think about this farm in the comments below, and stick around for some of my other discoveries in Elden Ring.